What's up, gamers? Welcome back to Infinite Dice. You're here with me, Infinite D, and today we have a 1,000 point Tzeentch army versus 1,000 point Ironjawz. So without further ado, let's get right on into it.
Alright, I am rolling for my Destiny dice. 9 dice. Couple sixes, couple ones. Seems good.
As you saw, we rolled for the Destiny dice. The Destiny dice are 9 dice that the Tzeentch get. You roll before the game. Instead of rolling a dice, you can put one of these 9 dice into place. You can never have more than 9, and mine looks pretty good. Here is our board setup so far, and we are playing Border Wars again. So 2 victory points at the end of your turn for controlling either of the gold tokens in the center of the board, and then 4 for your opponents and 1 for yours. This is going to be our setup. I have my Lord of Change, 2 units of 10 pink horrors, 20 blue horrors, and then 20 brimstone horrors with my Gaunt Summoner hiding there in the back. And unit of brutes with 1 mega boss, his general with the blue shoulder pads next to another unit of brutes. The gore grunt is hiding in the trees, and some hard boys over there on that flank. That is our setup, and we are playing 4 places of power. The Ironjawz, top of battle round 1, we rolled for the Rampaging Destroyer's battle trait of destruction, which is D6 additional inches, and also their running. He knew he wasn't going to charge or anything else, shoot or anything else this turn, so we just rolled both of them at the same time, and he got some pretty fantastic rolls. So these guys are going to book across the board as fast as can be. Another quick picture of the Ironjawz battle round 1. They collect 5 victory points all day and really boogie across the board. Bottom of battle round 1, Tzeentch turn. This is a picture of after movement. I forgot to get a picture of the hero phase because I was just having so much fun with the Tzeentch magic phase, which let's go in now, and we'll kind of talk about the spells I gave everybody as well. So first off, my Lord of Change has his command ability, which gives everybody +1 to cast within 18 inches. Use that. And his spell is Fold Reality, which is going to be a healing spell that I actually never used. So what I did cast is, first, these guys right here have Bolt of Tzeentch, which is a fantastic spell, D6 mortal wound damage. So it casts on an 8. They get +2, +1 for the Lord of Change's command ability, and then +1 for being within 9 inches of a Tzeentch hero. So they need an 8 to cast it. So I used my first Destiny dice of a 6. So they auto cast it. So I just used 1 dice and they auto cast it, dealing 5 mortal wounds up to these guys up here, which is just awesome. Next we have the pink horrors behind them right here. I gave them the spell of Unchecked Mutation, which is D3 mortal wounds, and then you roll a 5 or a 6, and if you get it, you can do another mortal wound and keep rolling. Unfortunately, they didn't do too much. That's going to be 2 mortal wounds from them into these gore grunts right here in the woods. My Lord of Change himself is going to cast Bolt into these gore grunts as well, doing 3 mortal wounds. And then he is going to cast his spell, which is Infernal Gateway, which is just insane. Let's look over this. Infernal Gateway opens a portal to the realm of chaos, pulling warriors to their doom. Infernal Gateway has a casting value of 7. If successfully cast, pick a visible enemy unit within 18 inches and roll 9 dice. For each roll that equals or beats the number shown on the damage table, which is 3 or more, the unit suffers a mortal wound. So 9 dice, each 3 or more. That did 6 mortal wounds to the gore grunters. Just fantastic spell. That is some serious damage. So 6 mortal wounds from the gore. So all day I have done, it looks like 16 mortal wounds in my first magic phase. And then down here, my Gaunt Summoner fails the Glimpse of the Future, his spell that I gave him that regenerates my Destiny dice, and then also cast Mystic Shield all the way up on these guys to make sure they could survive this Ardboy assault that's about to come in. And then, of course, in the shooting phase, put a few more on the Gore Gruntas And that's about it. Collect 1 victory point at the end of my turn.
Rolling for the top of turn 2, a big one. Here's me with a 3. Oh, did you see it? 4. Oh man, Julian got that with the Ironjawz.
Here we go. All right.
He uses his command ability and gets it off, everybody getting the +1 to attack, and then uses his command trait on the brutes behind him, giving them +1 to hit. That is the Bellowing Tyrant, giving them +1 to hit. Everybody moves up like this. This Gore Grunter, I guess I put 3 wounds on it. Again, we count up 3 wounds on it with shooting last turn. Moving through, these Ardboys trying to get around this lake, coming over to mess up some pink horrors. Another picture of movement real fast. Everybody closing in hard.
All right, neat. We're rolling the top of turn 2 charges. Warboss needs 3s. Try to get him as close as possible. What do we got? 9 gets it. All right, what about the brutes behind him? Let's just roll it out. Just roll the same dice.
Okay, remember. 9, 8.
All right, got that one. This guy.
Other 8.
And that's not anywhere close to the camera.
All right, 8. Only 2.
Oh, so these brutes fail, and then this guy needs anything but 3. Got it. And then they need a 7 over here.
7.
Failed at 7. Yeah, such a great fail. I needed that fail.
As we saw there, the Ardboys that got souped up with the +1 to hit failed their roll, will not be getting in. That was pretty big. And then the Ardboys also failed their roll. Got that on camera to see who gets in and who doesn't. Both generals right there going about to mess up some blue horrors. And this is a picture of Combat. Ironjawz, as you might imagine, just murder a ton of stuff. The picture of my blue horrors and pink horrors just left over. I used my second Destiny dice to save a pink horror roll from the general to keep them alive up here a little bit more because it is 2 damage, and I realized if I could save one of them, then I would save 2. So I used one of my dice for that, and also used my third Destiny dice to save another. These pink horrors right up here I was interested in keeping around, so I used 2 Destiny dice to save rolls on them. And then this is all the dead down here. Again, at the end of the phase, the blue horrors and pink horrors split. So the end of the combat phase, after he slaughtered just tons, I think that was something like 15 blue horrors. The pink horrors generate down into populating more blue horrors, and then these brimstone horrors get populated back up. But then we go straight to battle shock test. So during the battle shock test, I used my 4th Destiny dice to use a 1 to grow back my pink horrors, and the blue horrors lose almost their whole unit to the battle shock test, and brimstone horrors also lose a few. That ends the top of battle round 2. Julian and the Ironjawz collect another 5 victory points, going to 10 victory points. Tzeentch still at 1 victory point. It will be the bottom of battle round 2, Tzeentch's turn. I trigger the command ability on the Lord of Change, and let's go into my spells.
Awesome. We're going to start with a glimpse of future from him getting back a Destiny dice. Got it off on a 10. I'm going to get a Destiny dice back. Got a 3. I'm going to stick that over there. Alright, next spell, we are going to go from this front unit of horrors right here onto your general. And this is going to be the Bolt of Tzeentch. And it's going to need a casting value of 8, and they get +2, 1 for the command ability and 1 for being 9 inches away from him. So I'm going to take my Destiny dice of this 4, giving me 6, and it needs 8. So I need a 2+. I'm going to get that spell off as well. That is going to be D6 mortal wounds right here. Oh, the full 6. Your general's taking 6 wounds. Brutality. Alright, I am moving on to these guys, which have the unchecked mutation.
How come I didn't do a save? Oh, it's magic, yeah.
I guess into your general. Let's kill them off. Again, getting +2 to rolls. That's going to be 7, 9. That's going to get it. Unchecked mutation is going to be D3 mortal wounds. It's going to be 2, killing them.
Can you pull them off?
Oh, that is sad stuff.
Yep.
And then we are going to do... All right, I am using the Lord of Change to use this other hero. It is going to be the Infernal Gateway. Cast on a 9. I get to change this to a 4 and get +1, so that's going to get off. Bam, hero's gone. I'm going to cast Arcane Bolt across here all the way there. Getting it off, and that's going to be the last wound on this guy. And then I'm going to cast a Summon Pink Horrors unit way over there, which I believe I'm going to get off 2 on a 8. Let me check. Yeah, 6. Got that?
As you saw, I was holding the baby there. He was getting a little fussy going through those spells, but man, that was a devastating magic phase. Doing something like 17 mortal wounds all day. I used my 5th Destiny dice to cast another spell. The Bolt of Tzeentch did a full 6 wounds. That was fantastic. And I also got to summon another unit of horrors over there on his base. That is going to be pretty substantial. So, fantastic magic. Didn't realize the power of Tzeentch. 17 mortal wounds. Dropped both of his heroes. Pretty good. Another picture of movement. Kind of moved the pink horrors up to face off. And then these pink horrors to make a branch. And then my one remaining blue horror. This guy's going to be awesome because he's going to let me refill the entire unit when pink horrors get slaughtered both directions. Just completely pump up that whole unit. Is going to be glorious. And a picture of combat. Nothing else really happens. I shot a bunch. Did a few wounds on these brutes. Not too impressive on the shooting. And then in combat, this unit of brutes down here that's sitting on my base just completely blinks out the brimstone horrors. Just murders them to the man. So that's kind of devastating. No combat on my pink horrors, so my blue horrors did not grow back yet. And that will end battle round 2. I'm going to take 7 victory points because I have my own, the 2 over here, and the 4 for his way back there that I summoned that unit of pink horrors on now has his base. That summoned unit is fantastic. I really like this summoning aspect of Tzeentch. And then we'll go to the beginning of battle round 3.
Rolling for the top of turn 3. At the bottom of turn 3, I got my victory point 2 and then 4 for there. So I got the full 7. All right, here we go. Let's roll. 1. Oh no.
2.
Oh, way off. Way off.
Sorry, 2.
2. Got it.
Julian and the Ironjawz won the top of battle round 3. Picture of movement. He's going to move, trying to face off everything over here. Another clear picture of movement, trying to wipe out all of these pink horrors. And we go to, yeah, he has no command phase, by the way, because both of his heroes got slaughtered by magic. Still pretty devastated about that. And the charges in like this. This is a nice wrap here, getting this charge all the way to this blue horror. I think his strategy is going to put one guy there on the blue horror and try to peel him off, and then completely has these pink horrors surrounded, but didn't get any charges into the Lord of Change, which is pretty nice. And another picture of charges. Up here, they just completely demolished these pink horrors. What can you say? Ironjawz are pretty good in combat, and only 10 one-wound models just got completely obliterated. Down here, he did completely kill this last blue horror, which was a really good strategy move. I liked my strategy of keeping him alive and moving him back, but he countered that by following him and killing him. And then I was left with 3 pink horrors down here. They did pretty well. And I used my 6th Destiny dice on the Battle Shock test, one of my 1s, and I rolled a 6. I got 6 dudes back. It was fantastic. Again, on a roll of a 1, they repopulate, so I used my 6 Destiny dice and got 6 more guys back, so regrew that unit. That's fun. It's cool regrowing horrors. And at the end of his turn, the top of battle round 3, he's going to take 4 victory points. Not his, but the 2 on the side. These 2 and the 2 that were way over there that has been uncontested all game, going to a total of 14, and I still have 8. And then we'll go to the bottom of battle round 3, Tzeentch's turn. Forgot to get a picture of my hero phase and did not videotape my spells, but I'll go over them real fast. with my guy right here. I cast Glimpse of Future, got it off, got a 5 back. Gaunt Summoner doing well. I used these pink horrors right here to cast the unchecked mutation. I used my 7th and 8th Destiny dice to get it off because that equals 5, and then +2 that they get is 7. And they did 5 mortal wounds with that onto these brutes. That's pretty devastating. I used my 9th Destiny dice to cast Infernal Gateway on these guys up here from my Lord of Change, doing 4 mortal wounds. And then the Summoner again, this guy down here, he cast Bolt, doing another 3 mortal wounds. So this phase I did 12 mortal wounds all day. And then the Lord of Change cast a Mystic Shield on himself. And that's it. Another fantastic magic phase, doing 12 mortal wounds, getting a bunch of stuff off. I've already used 9 Destiny dice all game. It is the 3rd battle round. And then to movement, I moved my Lord of Change back, just trying to keep him alive and out of the way. I have no buffer here against all this coming in anymore. And I moved these pink ores up to reclaim my base and my Gaunt Summoner behind them, so he can just hide behind their shield wall all day. Another quick picture of movement. My pink horrors that I summoned onto his base are going to move comfortably right on over and secure it a little bit better. During the shooting, I was able to drop 1 more brute that you see here, just leaving 1 brute standing. And I'm going to go ahead and collect 5 victory points, 1 for mine here, and 1 for this unit way up here that collected that. No combat because I'm not trying to put any of my stuff into any sort of combats. We will go to the top of battle round 4.
Rolling for the top of battle round 4. Oh man, that's another 1. 5.
Man, I can't roll anything but 1s to start the turn. So Ironjawz is going to start battle round 4. He does a little bit of movement, not terribly consequential, no hero phase, and we're going to go straight into his charges and see what kind of charges he can get off.
Hard boys need a 6.
Ooh.
Oh, 5.
Alright, this guy just doesn't need snake eyes. Okay, got it. And these guys need, what was it, 5?
No, they ran. They're
They
meeting,
ran,
yeah.
Wow, that was what a blowout.
With that, not getting that charge.
He got his 1 brute in to pink horse, failed the charge on the Ard boys. That was pretty essential. They failed 2 charges this game all day. And then the other brutes are turning around to face off to go collect his own home base against my pink horrors, and they ran, so they are not going to be able to do anything. The brute in combat completely whiffed, and that ends his turn. He gets 4 victory points, again the same 2 he got last turn. The borders going to 18 all day against Tzeentch's 13. It will be the bottom of battle round 4, Tzeentch's turn. Use the command ability off the Lord of Change, giving everybody +1 to cast. The cast Glimpse, got it off, got a 2 back to my Destiny dice. Cast Shield, Mystic Shield from the Lord of Change onto himself, got it off. Fun. The horrors there, cast Unchecked Mutation, again adding their +2, and put 2 mortal wounds on to the hard boys, I believed. And then I used my 10th Destiny dice for the Lord of Change to use the Infernal Gateway, and just completely wiped out the rest of the Ard boys. And that's where we decide to call it. Julian and Ironjawz are picking it up. The Tzeentch at the end of his turn is going to take another 5 victory points for these over for his base and my own base, going to 18. So we left it at 18-18. Again, the Ironjawz called it. They didn't want to participate, only having these 3 models remaining. We don't know. We didn't roll for battle round 5. I think if he won the battle round, he could have had these 2 come over here and contest his own back and get maybe 1 plus the 4 that he was getting, so another 5. And then that meant that I would need to do some work. There was a potential Ironjawz could have won this. Probably not, especially if I got the turn first. Definitely no case in that scenario. Either way, first time really playing the Tzeentch seriously, incredibly impressed with their magic phase. I'm doing, 10, 12, 15, 16 wounds per phase. That's fantastic to be able to rely on. And the Destiny dice, I used 10 Destiny dice. That was also fantastic. So thank you for watching all the way through. Julian, thank you so much for coming over for a game. Check out his channel, Julian Toker. I think he does a lot more Twitch, live streaming of playing video games. Pretty fantastic game designer and video game extraordinaire. Again, Julian Toker. Thank you so much for watching. Catch you guys next time. Until then, may the dice be ever in your favor.